Hey designer, are you working without a contract? Did you hear from a client that wants to work with you and get super excited to design this project and design it and give them the artwork? And did you get payment back? Or did they stiff you? Did you get a contract to them first to have them sign and date it and return to you before you started the project? Or were you too excited about the opportunity and the money that you just said, I don't need a contract. I trust they're gonna pay me. Well, guess what? You just left money on the table and you just cost yourself a huge, massive mistake if you are not using a contract in your business. That is a big no-no. My name is Stacy Schilling. I'm a visual design expert. I'm also the creator and the owner of Stacy Schilling Education Design Hub, and I'm here to make it easier on you to know why you should be using a contract in your design business, okay? I do not care if you are a graphic designer, a website designer. If you're watching this and you're an interior designer, I don't care what type of designer you are. I don't even care if you're a photographer watching this video. Doesn't matter to me. If you are in business, especially in the design world, and you are conducting business with somebody else and you're not using a contract, you are going to be in a world of hurt. No joke. I'll tell you a true story. So years ago, I met a client that wanted me to design all of their advertisements in this little coupon book. And they had hired me, it was a one-color print job, to take all these ads and design them, lay out this book, and then send it to the printer to get published. Now, before I got excited about all that, I wrote a contract. I wrote all the information about the client, their name, their contact information, the name of their business, the project, the specs of the project, the printer's contact information, the whole kit and caboodle. I had everything outlined. I wrote what they needed to supply me in terms of what I would supply them. I even included in that contract where the artwork would go. Everything was spelled out for them. They signed that contract and they dated that contract and returned it to me with my deposit. So, yes, I love it when I get a signed contract that's dated and a deposit. That makes me super happy. So I started working on the project. I'm the designer. My job is to interpret what they want as the client and make it a reality for them. So my company slogan was, my job is to make your vision a reality. And that was what I was intending to do. So I designed all these ads for this coupon book and sent them off for proofing. They proofed and signed off. When everything was signed off, I sent the final artwork to the printer. Apparently, when the artwork came back from the printer, there was a lot of errors. But it wasn't my fault. It was the client's fault because they had signed off on a proof. So guess what? The client decided because there were so many errors in the book, they weren't going to pay me the rest of the money that was due for me. Now, do you think I walked away and said, oh, forget it, I don't need the money? You know what I did? I fought back. You know how I fought back? I took them to small claims court. You know why I was able to take them to small claims court? I had a contract. A contract is an agreement between yourself and the client of what you are going to perform in this project and what you are going to supply and how, as well as what they're going to supply you. It is a legal agreement, whether it is notarized or not. When you put a contract out and outline the specs of the job, how the artwork needs to be delivered, you know, how they need to send you their photos, their texts, what formats you need things in, any supplied files, that kind of stuff. If they are going to be using a printer, they need to give you that printer's contact information so you can send the artwork to the printer, okay? If it's going to a website, you need that website hosting information so you can upload the files to the World Wide Web, and that way they can be seen by all their online viewers. You need all that information. All this information needs to be covered in your contract. Your contract can be as thin or as thorough as you like it. The contract protects you and your business. Once you have a contract that outlines everything about the design job, everything, how many revisions they get, and if they go over how many those revisions that you give them. So for instance, if you give them a project and you say you only get 3 rounds of revisions and they go over that by 10, you have to specify in your contract what that cost is for every time they go over the extended amount of revisions. If they decide that they don't like the concepts that you have created and they say, no, I don't like them, I want new concepts. Guess what? You need to put that in your contract. What happens if you are told that they don't like it and they want new concepts? What's it going to cost them for the time that you have to spend to create new concepts? It needs to be in your contract. How do you want to get paid? It needs to be in your contract. If there's a kill fee, kill fee, what's a kill fee? Well, if you're in the middle of the project and they decide, stop, I'm killing the project, we don't need you anymore, but you're halfway done, how are you going to collect on the project that is almost done? How are you going to get your money back? These are things that you need to have in your contract. You need to have a signature page so they can sign and date it, so that way it's a document that can hold up in court. So with all these elements that I had in my contract, and I don't remember what was in my contract at the time, but let me tell you, they were so thorough that I had attorneys review my contracts, and they said, who wrote your contract? And I said, I did. And they said, really? And I said, yeah. And I said, how is it? And they said, I couldn't have written this any better, and I'm an attorney. That's how thorough and great my contracts were. I wrote them so well that even attorneys knew that they were really solid contracts. Because I had that contract, when I went into court and presented my case to court, I was able to present that contract to the court and show the court that we had an agreement. And guess what? I won my case. I won my case because I had a contract. When you are not using a contract in your business, you are doing a disservice to you. You are leaving money on the table, and you are going to be very upset if it is not signed and dated and returned to you. I don't care if they live in another state. I don't care if they live in another country. Doesn't matter. Get a contract. Guess what? We're in the 21st century. Granted, we don't use fax machines anymore. There are people that still use fax machines, but we have the mail. Now, granted, the postal service can be a little bit slow. We have FedEx. We have UPS, and they are worldwide. You can even use the United States Postal Service and send something to somebody in another country. But if you want something to get to somebody in another country or another state faster than FedEx, UPS, or the United States Postal Service, email. Email it. When you email a contract, you need to get a signature. You want that original signature. So they need to mail it back to you. It doesn't matter what the cost is. They need to mail you a signed contract and date it. Because once you have that signed contract that's dated, guess what? If for some reason they refuse to pay you, guess what? You can go after them. You could go after them. And guess what? You can't take them to court. I've taken many clients to court who have refused to pay me. I took a client to court in the state of Kentucky, and she lives in Baltimore, Maryland. She refused to pay me for the project that was already complete. She was going to try to make me eat the cost of all the time and effort. But guess what? I filed a court case, and I had a contract. And I knew she wasn't going to pay the money to fly to Kentucky and get a hotel room and a rent-a-car and try to defend herself in court and explain to the judge why she was refusing to pay me. She finally ended up paying me after I put some demands in, but because I had a contract and we had an agreement that I was going to perform this job for this amount of money, and she was going to supply me with this and her files and so forth so I can do my job for her, and she was going to renege. Because I had a contract, now I can sue her and I can collect the money that was due to me. So if you are a designer and you are deciding, I want to freelance on my own, or I'm freelancing right now, and I don't need a contract, you better stop and rewind this video and watch it again. Because I'm telling you right now, we live in the world where somebody is going to take advantage of you and promise to pay you for the work that you've done and not pay you, and you're going to be out that time and money if you don't have a contract. That is the number one thing that you need in your business. I don't care if you have a website, it doesn't matter. You can put your stuff on Instagram for all I care at this point, or Facebook. You need a contract before you need a website. If you do not have a contract for your business, you are going to be in the world of hurt. If you want help on how to grow your business or write a contract, you can go to my website, stacyschilling.com. Click on the link that says private lessons. Click on 5, 10, or 20-hour lessons and purchase that. I will contact you with a date and time so we can set up a first lesson. And in that email, reply when you get dates and times, slots that I have available. Message me back and say, hey, Stacy, I need help with my contract, or I need help reviewing my contract. Can you help me? Absolutely, because those private lessons are not just for learning the software. They're also to help you in anything you need in regards to your business. So I'd be more than happy to help you with that, designer. So again, go to my website, stacyschilling.com, and click on private lessons, and I will help you get your contract up to par so you do not have to go through what I have gone through and leave money on the table. Have a great day. Bye, designer.